Hey, I have a public service announcement. I have a public service announcement regarding mortgage rates. It's Coffee with Kelly time. So last week I'm at a party and the number one question that everybody came up and asked me after how are your kids and everything else is, how is the housing market? I mean, with these increasing interest rates, it must be awful. Everything I read in the news, everything I see on social media, all is talking about the rise in interest rates because the Fed increased the rates last week. So it must be having a huge impact on the housing market. I stood back after the party and thought, wow, there is a lot of confusion around rates. When the Fed raises rates, everybody naturally equates that with mortgage interest rates, but they're actually not the same. When the Fed raises rates, they are raising what is called the federal funds rate. And the federal funds rate is the rate that banks charge one another to either borrow or loan money overnight. That's the federal funds rate. Now, does that impact interest rates? It does, but not mortgage interest rates. Well, not a direct impact on mortgage interest rates. It directly impacts interest rates on your credit cards, on your auto loans, if you have a personal loan, if you have a business loan. Those rates are directly impacted when the Fed raises the federal funds rate. But mortgage interest rates are indirectly impacted. And as a matter of fact, last week, when the Fed raised the rate, mortgage interest rates actually went down. Yeah, they went down. They've gone down several times this year, right after the Fed has raised rates. So, my public service announcement is to all of you who are buyers or are considering buying a house, or renters who are thinking that that may be a better option, and that's another Coffee with Kelly conversation that we can have, is to not immediately panic when you hear that the Fed has raised rates. Pick up the phone, call your lender, and have a conversation with them and ask them, what is the current mortgage interest rate? Because I recently heard a cute little saying, which is that you want to marry the house, but date the interest rate. If you find a house that meets all your criteria that you love, don't hesitate. Marry, buy the house, you're only dating the interest rate, and you always have in your hip pocket, you can refinance when those rates come down. And there's a pretty good chance that you're going to live in that house long enough to see that happen. Thank you for joining me. Please be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you next week on Coffee with Kelly.